Contestant number 9, Rich Briner. On the other side of fear. On the other side of fear, Rich Briner.
Picture this. I'm 12 years old, and I'm standing in line at the high diving board at Lakewood Park's outdoor swimming pool, and I'm petrified. My palms are sweaty, my heart is pounding, my knees are knocking. What am I doing here? My brother Mickey is 2 years younger than me and a head shorter than me, and he can dive off of that diving board. And me, Richie, his older brother, the wimp, can't do it. But today is the day I'm going to show my can. Suddenly, it's my turn. I put my hands on the cold, wet metal, and I start to climb, and it's like a beanstalk going up to the sky, and I'm up there, and it's way up there. I edge my way out the diving board. I get halfway out when suddenly I realize the railing only goes halfway. I got to go the rest of the way on my own. The diving board is this wide, but for me, it looks more like a 2x4. I inch my way out that 2x4, curl my toes over the edge, and I jump. Ah! Push! I did it! Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and honorable judges. Exhilaration lies on the other side of fear, which is why Ralph Waldo Emerson tells us to do the thing we fear to do. Susan Jeffers, in her book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Well, what is it for you? Is it fear of public speaking? Maybe it's fear of what other people may think of us. Or perhaps it's fear of wearing red socks in public. Susan Jeffers says we have an epidemic of fear in this country. We fear beginnings, endings, success, failure. We fear death. We fear life. Well, what does she say to do about it? She says we should feel the fear, do it anyway. Fear is always there if we're on the grow. We should accept it as a fact of life and not let it be an obstacle to our goals. In other words, it shouldn't be a ball and chain that holds us back from our goals. Rather, it should be a friend. It needs to be a friend who accompanies us on our life's adventures. Ha! Easy for her to say. She wasn't there that day. It was February 1970. John Carroll University, Cleveland, Ohio. 4 miles from polluted Lake Erie. There are 1,100 people packed into that auditorium. I'm sitting in the front row center. I am so close to that stage, I can reach out and touch the stage. Why are we there? Ralph Nader, the consumer advocate, has come to talk about polluted Lake Erie. Now, Ralph has been speaking for 20 minutes, but I haven't heard a word he has said. Why? Because the longer Ralph Nader speaks, the more I realize he's going hoarse right before our ears. I look up on the stage, there's no water. I look for the introducer, long gone. Somebody in this auditorium has got to help Ralph Nader. But it's not going to be me. I'd have to get up out of my seat, step over these people, turn and face 2,200 eyeballs. No way. But the longer Ralph Nader spoke, the more I realized somebody had to help him. So I got out of my seat, faced the eyeballs, went back to the lobby, found a Dixie cup, rinsed it out, filled it up with water, and ever so carefully I carried that water down to the front of this auditorium, took 2 steps to the right, 4 steps, and I'm on stage with Ralph Nader. I can feel 2,200 eyeballs watching every move I make. And I think to myself, don't trip now, Rich. I walk across that stage, I set that glass of water right on the lectern. Ralph Nader didn't even bat an eyelash, didn't even look my way. I went back and sat down in my seat again. Mr. Nader spoke for another 20 minutes. Again, I didn't hear one word he said. Why? I was thinking, pick up the glass, Ralph. Drink the water, Ralph, please. And my friends, I know what they were thinking. Look at that turkey Briner on stage with Ralph Nader. And look, Ralph isn't drinking the water. Briner, what a hot dog. Well, I wanted to know why he wasn't drinking the water. The speech ended. Mr. Nader said, "Are there any questions?" Now, I wanted to ask, but I thought, wait a minute. I've already made a fool of myself being on stage with Ralph Nader. But then I thought, wait a minute. I've already been on stage with Ralph Nader. How tough is it to raise my hand? So I did. I was so close, he called on me first. I stood up. I said, "Mr. Nader, I'm the guy who gave you that glass of water, and I was wondering why you didn't drink it. Was it because it came from Lake Erie?" All of a sudden, all around, the place erupted in laughter. Pretty soon it turned to applause. Applause! Not for Ralph Nader, but for the question I was afraid to ask. Exhilaration lies on the other side of fear. Ladies and gentlemen, it might not be going off a diving board for you, or wearing red socks, or facing 2,200 eyeballs, but whatever it is, Ralph Waldo Emerson tells us, do the thing that we fear to do, and the death of fear is certain. Mr. Toastmaster.